Okay, we're working on problem 13-163, which is from the closure in chapter 13. We are asked to find the slope function for this function, f of x equals 5x squared minus 7. The slope function is the same thing as saying f prime of x, which is the same thing as the derivative. And to do that, we want to find the limit as h approaches 0 of our AROC expression, which was f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. Okay, so to do that, let's start with this first expression. We're going to plug x plus h in place of our x, so we're going to have 5 times x plus h, the quantity squared, minus 7. And then we're going to subtract f of x, which is just the function, 5x squared minus 7. And then we're going to divide the whole thing by h. And so we'll wait to talk about the limit until we get this expression simplified. All right, so to simplify this, x plus h, the quantity squared, we could use an area model to multiply out x and h and x and h. And when you do that, you end up getting x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. Remember, we need to multiply that whole thing by 5. So if we take 5 times this, we get 5x squared plus 10xh plus 5h squared minus 7, and then we're going to distribute the negative sign to both terms in that parentheses. So minus 5x squared minus negative 7 is the same as plus 7, with the whole thing being over h. And then our goal is to just simplify it. So to simplify it, we have 5x squared minus 5x squared. That's 0. Negative 7 plus 7, also 0. So we're left with 10xh plus 5h squared all over h. Notice that every one of those terms has an h in it that's being multiplied, so we can make a giant 1 with that, which leaves us with 10x plus 5h. And so when we find the limit as h approaches 0 of 10x plus 5h, we know 5 times 0 is 0, so we're just left with 10x. So that would be our slope function for this equation, which means we could plug any number in for x, and it would tell us the instantaneous rate of change at that point. Now, if you looked at the bonus slides, we talked about the power rule, and that would just be a way to check your work on this. The power rule works for polynomials. This is one. And so the way that you would use it is you would take this 2, bring it out here in front, so 2 times 5 to the x, or 5 times x, and then we subtract 1 from our exponent. So 2 minus 1 is 1. And then we would do nothing with the constant. It just drops off. And so when you take 2 times 5x, you get 10x, which is a much shorter way to do it. However, it's good to know where the slope function comes from.